Chapter 622, suspicion.
Yes, I'm just repeating the verse 1288.
Page 258, Hadith 1288. Anas radiallahu anhu said, Anas radiallahu anhu said, while the Prophet ﷺ was with one of his wives, a man or two passed by, and the Prophet ﷺ called him and said, so and so, this is my wife, so and so. The man said, whoever I might suspect, I would not suspect you. The Prophet ﷺ said, Satan flows in the son of Adam as blood flows.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين أما بعد الإمام البخاري رحمه الله in his great book Adab Mufrad gives us the chapter Bab al-Dhann, that is having dhann, a person who is believing or having an opinion about someone, and he started with the hadith إياكم والظن فإن الظن أكذب الحديث. Be aware of dhann. Be aware of making an opinion about someone without a proof. And that is it is from the lying hadith. Akdabul hadith. It is actually the most lying hadith. And then he brings this hadith which we have talked about, but we need to add something to it as well. Hadith 1288 on the authority of Anas, that the Prophet ﷺ was with one of his wives. And we have said that was Safiya radiallahu anha bint Huyay, and she came to visit him while he was what? In his seclusion. And the Prophet ﷺ, he wanted to give her farewell, so he went to the door of the masjid to accompany her so she could go home. And two people were passing by. In the other narration, not one person, two people passing by. They saw the Prophet ﷺ with a woman whom she's totally covered. So they started rushing or increasing their speed. So the Prophet ﷺ said, wait for both of them, for verily she's Safiya. In the other narration he said, Subhanallah. We know that Messenger of Allah, Subhanallah, I mean, we would never think badly about you. In this one person, and he says to the Prophet of Allah, which is the same incident. We don't, Messenger of Allah, if I'm going to have such a thing in my brain or such an opinion, I will never have that opinion about you. That means you are with a stranger. You don't have to explain to me that she's your wife. For verily shaitan runs in the blood of the son of Adam, just like the veins in the son of Adam, just like the blood runs in the veins. And we have explained that, but we need to make sure that you understand very well that so many people have entered prisons and they were having tyranny upon them, and even their money were taken just because of dhann, because of gestures, because of opinion based upon things that you have seen. And we have said that you have to have good opinion all the time about your brother. If you don't like the people to have dhann about you, so how can you have a dhann about them? I mean, people, they know for themselves, they don't like people to have dhann against them. So if it is the case, why do you have dhann against them? And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه من الخير. And no one would gain belief until he loves for himself what he loves for the others. So from loving to the others, that you should not have a bad opinion about the others, because you don't like people to have a bad opinion about you. So we say in Arabic, al-bayan yatrudu shaitan. Clarification will expel the shaitan. So this clarification, it has to be done in order as well to save your brother from falling into the sin. Why, some of the people, when they, for example, sense that person might have a bad opinion about him, okay, so other people say, we should really tell him, let him go to capital H. Let him go to, and he doesn't care about it. Because, I don't care about it. No, you should care about it. Prophet of Allah ﷺ, he explained to that man that I am with my wife, and the Prophet of Allah, he will always have good opinion about his companions. He would have never thought that companion would have bad opinion about him. But nevertheless, he had to say this to give us an example to follow. So the Prophet of Allah when he said to that person, he never had a bad opinion about him to say that, oh, he will have bad opinion about me. Remember that. But the Prophet ﷺ wants to make sure that you follow his example and you always clarify the situation. And the other person should never complain as well. Because when the Prophet ﷺ, he had that reply from that person, Messenger of Allah, if I had to have that opinion about anyone, I would not have it regarding you. Okay? The Prophet of Allah, he ignored that answer. He said, verily the shaitan runs in the son of Adam. You don't know how much power the shaitan has. So this is why I'm just saying to the brother, if this person, when he saw you doing something that maybe made him to jump into the conclusion of something else, and he told you, brother, by the way, I'm taking my own stuff. Don't you ever think that I am a thief? You should never complain. Why do you think badly about me? You should never say that. You say, Jazakallahu khair. Okay? So if he explains to you, you should not say, why do you think bad about me that I'm going to think bad about you? And this comes between the husband and the wife. So the husband, if he tells her, by the way, I'm taking the money because of that, why are you telling me that? Do you think I'm going to have doubts about you? And the fight starts all over again. I'm bringing this again because it's very important. And also sometimes, if you have good opinion about your brother, that good opinion, it could be over or exceeding what it is. So the person needs to clarify. Meaning, if a person did something that would indicate that maybe he will do something even better than that, so he needs as well to clarify that, maybe that will go to showing off. If you remember with me as well, Abdurrahman ibn Husayn, he was in the presence of Sa'id ibn Musayyib, and one Sa'id ibn Musayyib, he said to the gathering, they were there, أيكم رأى الكوكب الذي انقضى البارحة? Who amongst you had seen the shooting star last night? So here Abdurrahman ibn Husayn, he said, me, I have seen it. But now when he said that, people might think, oh, shooting star, late at night, he is in his late, he's mashallah doing qiyam. So straight away he said to him, verily, but I was not in qiyam. Nobody asked him whether you're in qiyam or not. Nobody asked that question. But he wants as well to make sure that dhan, even if it's a good opinion, is not going to be overshooting. So that dhan is not supposed to be there. So he's telling them that I am not in a prayer. And this is how the companions as well taught us. And the top of them, of course, the Prophet ﷺ, he taught us to do that. From the companions that we learn, for example, Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu is about to die. Abdullah ibn Abbas came to him and he started to remind him, don't worry about it, for verily the Prophet of Allah, he was with you all the time and you were with the Prophet of Allah. He said, وَرِدْتُ لَوْ كَانَ ذَلِكَ كِفَارٍ. I would have hoped that this will be just an equalizer. لَا لِي وَلَا عَلَيْهِ. Not against me or for me, just to have this. Also Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, when some people praised him, having good opinion about that, he said, اللهم اجعلني خيرا مما يظنون ولا تؤاخذني بما يقولون واغفر لي ما لا يعلمون. Oh Lord, make me better than what they think, and don't take me on account for what they say, and forgive for me the thing they don't know about me. And that's humbleness from the companion. So overshooting as well, opinions is the same thing. Fortunately, shaitan comes from both sides. So we have learned this a lot, alhamdulillah, from this hadith, that the Prophet ﷺ, even though he was sure that companion will never have a bad opinion about him, because he's just telling us that shaitan, he could do lots of things. Shaitan can take you away from the fitrah which you are supposed chipped into it. He will take you from that fitrah. Allahu a'lam. 1289.
1289, Abdullah radiallahu anhu said, the person who has had something stolen from him continues to be suspicious until he becomes worse than the thief.
Right, this is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud giving us a great hikmah. He says that the one who's been stolen, he will have suspicion, opinions, and bad ones, about the person or the people around him, until his sin will be greater than the sin of the one who had stolen. So if you've been stolen something, and you start saying, I think it's that person, I think that person, you should start talking now, based upon this unbased fact. It's not really proper fact. It's just like opinion. You start saying this and saying that until you're becoming or gaining more sin than the sin of that person who had stolen. So I would say always, you should never have bad opinion about other people. Always have good opinion. Now,
1290, Bilal bin Sa'ad.
Can we, this is a really empty gap. Can we just ask the brother, come forward with the chair and come with the one behind him, inshallah. And I'd like people to be separated with the gaps. Very important. Jazakumullah. Yes, barakallahu fikum. Now.
1290, Bilal bin Sa'ad al-Ash'ari said, Muawiyah radiallahu anhu wrote to Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, write down for me the erring people of Damascus. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu said, what have I to do with the erring people of Damascus and how would I know them? His son Bilal said, I will write them. So he wrote them down. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu said, how do you know? You would only know that they are erring people if you were one of them. Begin with yourself. He did not send their names.
Right. Muawiyah radiallahu anhu warda. This, by the way, Adab is not authentic. But the meaning of it is really sound. Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, he wrote to Abu Darda, he said, write to me. Erring is just, this is a literature word. It's the one with evildoers, for Saq. The evildoers of Dimashq. So he said to him, I don't know any, because I have to be evildoer myself in order to know them. I don't know any. So how should I know them? So his son, Bilal. So he said, well, I will write them for you. I know them. So he said, how did you know them? You must have be one of them, or close to them, in order to know their names. So start with yourself. If you want to, so that he didn't really send any. Start with yourself if you want to start. The first evildoer is yourself. Because how come you know them? Right, but the way, as I said, this is, as according to our Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, it is unauthentic. Coming to the following chapter, Bab Halq al-Jariyah wal-Mar'a zawjaha.
Chapter 623, the slave girl and wife shaving the husband. 1291, Ibn Qais said, I visited Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhuma while a slave girl was shaving his hair. He said, the lime depilatory makes the skin supple.
Just read that word, please, again.
Depilatory.
I mean the substance that shaves. Yeah, depilatory, yes, okay.
Make the skin supple.
Noor, it's in Arabic. Yes, alright. Okay, this chapter, first of all, chapter which says that Halq al-Jariyah, that means the girl, the woman, the wife, shaving the head of her husband. Imam al-Bukhari brought this chapter to say to us it's permissible for the woman to shave the hair of her husband. No problem about that. Whether it's a slave girl, or whether it is the daughter, or whether it is the wife. No problem. So the woman can shave the hair of their husband. It's no problem about that. And Abdullah ibn Umar, this athar, Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah says it is not authentic. But the meaning of it, that means to shave the hair, is no problem. The slave girl and the wife, they are allowed to shave the hair from anywhere. And the hair which is meant in this one is the hair for the what? For the pubic hair. But it's not being said there, it's the pubic hair. And that is why the Imam al-Bukhari is talking about that the slave, because the slave, she's allowed to see what? The awrah. The same thing, the husband is allowed to see the awrah of his wife and vice versa. So no problem that the wife or the slave, but not together. Not together. Because they're not allowed to shave the hair, that means the pubic hair of the husband. And vice versa. No problem. Aisha radiallahu anha used to say, me and the Prophet used to wash ourselves in one tub. I used to see from him and he used to see from me. No problem. So as I said, the athar is not authentic, but the hadith. As for the daughter, she's allowed to shave, of course, the head hair of her father, no problem. So the head hair is no problem, but to see the awrah is not allowed. Whether it's the daughter of the father or the father of the daughter. Right, so this is 1291 is unauthentic. We go to the following chapter.
Chapter 624, Plucking the Armpits. 1292. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the fitra, natural state, consists of 5. Circumcision, shaving the pubic hair, plucking the armpits, trimming the mustache, and clipping the nails.
Right, if you remember with us that we have discussed a similar hadith, but we said that one is unauthentic, and we have given you the authentic one, which is the chapter called Babu Halq al-Ana. Now I don't know the chapter number for you, but you know the hadith, which is the hadith that we said it is munkar because it had something there. I want you to remind me what was that. Siwak, very good. 1257. 1257. And in there, Abu Hurairah, he says that the Prophet ﷺ said 5 from the fitrah. And he added the siwak. Now this one, he put the Imam al-Bukhari under the chapter Bab Halq, or sorry, that's fil ibd, plucking the hair of the armpit. And he brings Imam Abu Hurairah brings 5 from the fitrah, which we have explained, but no harm to go gain with quick recap on that. And fitrah means the sunnah. The fitrah, it means the nature of mankind. The fitrah, it means what the Prophet used to do. Prophet's action is fitrah. So the fitrah is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you upon. So if you have left with no father and no mother, you left with nobody with you to bring you up, you will know that these are from the fitrah. That is, he says, al-khitan, khitan, circumcision. And we have as well 1250 from Sa'id al-Musayyib, where he said the first one who had done the khitan, the first one who had done the plucking, you remember? Who's that? Ibrahim alayhi salam. So you add that as well, 1250 and the number next to it. So here, 5 from the fitrah, al-khitan, circumcision. To circumcise, and we talked about the circumcision thoroughly. We said the circumcision is a must upon the father or the mother to circumcise their children, and the best circumcision is on the first day. There's no harm to delay it, and it is not allowed to delay it after, you remember, puberty. So it has to be within before the puberty. So the longer you delay it, the more painful to the child. And as for the male, we said it's compulsory, and we said for the female it is compulsory. It's recommended and permissible, but becomes compulsory in those countries where the woman's her shabaq, her loss will be extreme, and the husband is the people, they know about that. And there was at the time of the Prophet of Allah, a woman, she used to circumcise the woman. The other one, he says al-istihdad. Al-istihdad means shaving the pubic. Shaving the pubic, why is it called istihdad? Because it's using the hadida. Hadida, which is the razor. Hadida al-istihdad. And it's shaving the pubic, and that is why he brought it underneath the chapter of shaving the pubic. Shaving the pubic, and we said the pubic is the front private, but no problem if somebody had said as well at the back, but it's not directly being meant there, because some I've heard some of the students know if they add this as a compulsory. We don't have that as a proof. The ana is the front one. But if somebody had shaved as well the bottom from the back, because where the hair might have the feces sticking to it, would be better as well to shave it. Also, he says wanatful ibad. Wanatful ibad is the chapter title. Natful ibad is to pluck there. And the scholars will differ regarding whether the plucking is the compulsory, so it is not allowed to shave it, or you have to pluck it, or it's permissible even to shave it, or to remove it with any cream. We say the best is to pluck it. Some people, they can't really take it. It's too harmful for them, too painful to them as well. But plucking it, because it will uproot it, and it will not, when it comes back, it will not come thicker. But if you start shaving it, it becomes more and thicker. So in the pubic hair, we said shaving. But in the under armpit, what? Plucking. But if you have shaved it, we don't say you have done sin, but it would be better to pluck it. And we say that it is permissible as well to use any cream to remove it. Qas al-sharib, we said that is to trim the mustache. Trimming the mustache to the extent you don't shave it completely, but trimming the mustache as long as it does not cover your lips. And taqreem al-adafir is the one you clip your nails, clipping the nails. And we said the Prophet of Allah had given us for that 40 days, and we have explained that before, 40 days for those 4 things, which is clipping the nail and shaving the pubic hair, and trimming the mustache, and plucking the underarms. Those are for 40 days, but the person knows about 40 days, that's the maximum you should leave them to, but it doesn't mean you should wait for 40 days. Because some people, their nails, every 10 days or wait, it become really long. Some people, their mustache, every week. Some of the people as well, their underarms becomes very long, so it depends upon the person. But 40 days as it will be a sin after that. These are 5 of the fitrah. Abu Hurairah narrated the hadith, how many? 10 from the fitrah. So if those 10 from the fitrah, if we add to it, for example, or the cleaning of the knuckles as well to it, we add to them as well the gargling as well, putting water onto the nostril as well. Siwak, it comes from that, but it's not in that 5, it comes as well, siwak in it as well. So but these 10, it doesn't mean the 10 only from the fitrah. No, there are more than Sunnah al-Fitrah. Not just 10 or 5 or 15 or 20. Okay? Lots of things from the Sunnah al-Fitrah. Okay? So in Sunnah al-Fitrah as well, just smile to your brother. Sunnah al-Fitrah, smiling. So if you start with all this, it's against the fitrah. Person smiling, it's a fitrah. It's a fitrah. So Sunnah al-Fitrah is not just 1 or 2, 3 or up to 10. But those are being emphasized. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Now, 1293 is unauthentic, and 1294 it is same, but it's mawqufun Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, and it doesn't add anything basically. So we go to 1295, and the hadith there is unauthentic, but the chapter says Husnul Ahd. Read the chapter title, please.
Chapter 625, Good Observance of Relations.
Observing of relations is, something that we just don't have. Basically that hadith that he's going to read is unauthentic, but it doesn't mean, good relation is not authentic. For verily, we could put under that the hadith that we have discussed before. And we said that the mu'min ya'laf wa yu'laf. The believer is all the time, he's socializing, isn't it? The people find it very easy to socialize with him, and he finds himself easy to socialize with other people. There's no good the person who does not, be socializing. And also the Prophet said, the person who communicates with the people and he is patient regarding their harms is better than the one who does not mix up with the people and is not patient, or does not endure their harms and shortcomings. For very, there are shortcomings. Okay, so if you want to seclude yourself because there are lots of people are bad, in that seclusion you're not allowed to deprive your direct family from visits. You're not allowed to give the huquq means the rights, like visiting the sick or joining the funeral and all of that. So seclude yourself. And we said the best is what Imam al-Shafi'i has said: kun bayna al-inqibad wal-inbisat. Be between the two open and the two to yourself. Between that, too much open, too much to yourself, too much open, you'll have lots of people who are going to be counting mistakes upon you. Too much open. As well, the ones who've got lots of friends, has got lots of what? Commitments, isn't it? Commitments. Got lots of friends, got lots of commitments. So you're gonna, how many? You're gonna invite 5 today, and we're gonna invite another 5 and another 5. Lots of commitments. And lots of times being wasted. And too much of yourself, people don't like you. He's to himself. He's to himself, leave him, he's to himself. Doesn't like it. So between this and that, and like Sha'at Muawiyah, the hair of Muawiyah, they say. So if the people pull, you let go. If they let go, you pull. So you make at least a joint between you and them all the time. There's a joint, but to be shaped and limited and to be as well observed. Now,
Chapter 626, Recognition, 1296. Al-Mughira.
Okay, recognition is a chapter which is correct, but here the athar there, it is not authentic. So recognition, but I would like to make sure that the recognition, yes, all right. Some people when they sit together, they say the following: من السنة تعرف. from the Sunnah to know each other. They start saying, my name such and such, my work, and he gives a short CV about himself. Have you seen that before? This jama'ah, as well, specific jama'ah, they do that as well. Okay, they said, Sunnah ta'ab. There's no such a verse, there's no such a hadith whatsoever. Okay? For verily, the companions you sit with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they don't sit before, they sit, brothers, can you introduce yourself? Blah, 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 blah. This is taken up from us, from the West. That's why when they come with this badge, shake his name, where he lives. Okay? It is true. It's hanging like that. If you don't come with this, no way you're going to sit. So, every time somebody talks to you, you look at the badge, what does he say? True or not? So I'm just saying, if it is the case, this is not the chapter is all about. It's not all about. And people just talk to you and he's looking at the badge. How great you are, and I will tell you, when the person, he knows your age, he will start, changing the tone that he speaks to you. And that is why Imam Ibn Hazm doesn't like to disclose his age. Because if this person, mashallah, likes this person, okay, and he likes him, he now, in his mind, he put him at an age which is suitable to what he believes. But if he says to him, by the way, my age is 24, you think you're a kid now. And all that he had built upon you. If you said to him about, I'm 94, too old. Oh, I wonder why he's calm, because it's too old. So you have lost that edge. Okay? Lost that edge. Now, I've never seen that, for example, the companions, I've never read when they say to each other, what is your date of birth? SubhanAllah, date of birth now becomes everything. You want to open a bank account, date of birth. You want to marry, date of birth. You want to divorce, date of birth. You want to D-O-P. Capital D, capital O, capital B. True or not? You go to the NHS, what's your date of birth? Okay? And the brothers, mashallah, memorize the date of birth more than memorize the name of their wives, maybe. Date of birth. Even the kids, date of birth. I bet you that every single kid amongst us, they know date of birth. And he's laughing, he knows it. Every single kid. Young chap, he knows the date of birth. And when we look at the companions of hadith, they don't sit with each other, what is your date of birth? What's your date of birth? How old are you? Very rare. Very rare. Very rare. But the date of birth at the time, it was not documented in this way. Allahu A'lam, we go to the following and we don't have that much hadith. Okay. And that could be postponed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't belong. Alright. It could be, it doesn't have that, doesn't have to be on the time.
No. I'm making one up.
Inshallah.
Chapter 6 to 7, children playing with nuts. 1297, Ibrahim said, our elders used to allow us all sorts of playthings except dogs. Abu Abdullah said he meant children.
What is the chapter called?
Children playing with nuts.
Yeah, with nuts, with jaws, yes. Right, this, again reading the hadith, I thought of Ibrahim ibn Yazid al-Nakhai. He said that
our elders used to allow us all sorts of playthings except dogs.
Right. What does that have to do with the jaws, with the nuts? The chapter title is something and the athar is something else. This is Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah. We know that we have said before that playing, and we talked about it, and we talked about who was that used to play? Aisha radiallahu anha. She used to have the little games. And we talked about playing chess, you remember? This Adab al-Mufrad. And we talked about playing with the backgammon. Yes? No. Backgammon. Backgammon. Never pronounced it properly. We said backgammon is haram. We said chess is halal. We're given as well the way that to play with it, which is with no images in it, and also that in this we add as well here that is saying Imam Bukhari that as long as is this not preoccupying you from doing what you're supposed to do from the ibadah, does not take you from your prayer, does not take you from the ibadah, no problem about that. As long as it does not involve gambling. As for the nard, or anything to do with the nard, which is the backgammon, or any game depends upon 100% luck or most of it is luck, like poker, games, for example, over this luck, then this is haram. So if it is not like that, and it's not preoccupying your time from the ibadah, then there's no problem about that. So here, he said, Ashabuna, the ones who are the elders, used to make it permissible for us to play. So play is no problem. Okay? Except for the dogs. Make the Ibrahim, and his name known to Ibrahim Nakhai. He said our elders, they used to make it permissible for us to play all types of games except for the dogs. The chapter titled, The Permissibility of Children Playing with the Nuts. We said that the games for the children is advised, and we said regarding hadith which is in 368, which we discussed a long time ago, regarding Aisha radiallahu anha, that is, she used to have the games as well. And we said as well, Adab in the hadith, that they used to make the little toys, make them for their children, not to cry. Aisha was playing with what, ya Bilal? What was that? Yes? The horse with wings. She said, the horse of Sulaiman alayhi salam. And the Prophet ﷺ, he left her. She used to have as well little girls he used to play with. Remember that he got married to her when she was 9 years old. There's no problem about that. But we said that those games that you buy these days, which they show haram things, if you remember, we talked about that as well. They show the haram features of the person, of the awra, aliyadu billah. And also some of the games are so huge. They're not really games, or they're not dolls, they are actually furniture, pieces of furniture. You know, like a teddy bear might fall on the child, maybe kill him. But it's massive, and it's not a teddy bear, it's not a teddy or not, it's not a real bear, basically. Now, also, he says here, غير الكلاب. Very important, not the dogs. See, when the child plays with the dog, he's not going to have a dog as a pet. And the dog's not supposed to be a pet. Dog of a purpose is allowed. But to have the dog as a pet will take and deduct from your rewards 1 qirat for every day. 1 qirat, that is 1 mountains of Uhud. Each qirat like a mountain of Uhud. So there's going to be deduction because you're playing with the dogs. But the dogs can be trained. Not with the little children to train them, but the adults. To train them to what? To hunt. Hunting. So hunting used to be at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Even the dogs which are hunters, they are permissible to be sold and bought. But the dog like that, it is not allowed. So dogs which has been trained, like for example to lead the blind, or a police dog, or a dog to sniff, for example, the drugs, smugglers and all of that, and the dogs which are hunters, no problem to sell them and buy them. And the dogs for guarding, but the dogs for the guarding is supposed to be outside guarding, not in the bedroom on top of the mattress, or sleeping with the owner. So outside, yes, is guarding. So they live little dogs, and even they have hairstyles for the dog. One day I was walking in the car, I took a picture of the van, and there is a list, dog specialists, grooming, hairstyle. So what? And I took a picture with a hairstyle as well, and grooming, and Allah musta'an, what do they do with the dog? So this is, it's a different world to us, different religion, basically. We care about the animals more than anyone else. Alhamdulillah. We do not kill the animal because, for example, the leg was broken of the horse. They do that to relieve him from the pain. Or for example, he's not a racing horse anymore. They shoot him. We're not allowed to shoot him. Just like what we do to the human being when his leg is broken, we take him to the hospital as well. The animal which has got a broken leg, we treat it as well to make sure it will not harm him. But if he's going to kill him, we're going to kill him by itself. But to shoot him, is that mercy? If that horse had some tongue to speak, and you give him the option, shall I leave you with the leg broken or shall I shoot you? What are you going to say? Shoot me? No horse would say that, shoot me. You want to live. So we are more merciful because we work by the code. And our code is the Quran and the Sunnah. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ذكرنا, and inshallah we will continue after the prayer. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Chapter 6227. باب لعب الصبيان بالجوز. That is the children playing with the nuts. And we have discussed a number of athar, a number of hadith. One of them as well, Anas radiallahu anhu, he said that the Prophet ﷺ came upon me and he used to play with the children. Anas radiallahu anhu, remember that when he had served the Prophet ﷺ, he was only 10 years old. And the Prophet of Allah, he died, he was only 20 years old. So when he was 10 years old, he used to play with the children. And he used to see him playing with the children, and he never, the Prophet of Allah, objected on that. Coming to the following hadith, please.
1298, an old
Okay, go ahead. 1298 is unauthentic, and 1299 is a repetition of 368. So we go straight away to the following chapter.
Chapter 628, slaughtering pigeons, 1300. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saw a man following a dove and said, a Satan following a Satan.
Dhabh al-hamam, slaughtering the pigeon. The pigeon, they have a number of purposes. Some of the purposes are to be eaten, of course. Some of the purposes are being used to, for example, carry letters, as we know. Some of the pigeons as well, they could be kept as well for the sake of the eggs of the pigeons, or kept as well for producing more pigeons. Here, Prophet ﷺ, he saw a man following a pigeon. It's like he is trying to hunt a pigeon, and for the sake of amusement. And Islam prohibits such a thing. For verily, Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man ittaba'a as-sayd ghafal." The one who follows all the time the hunting, he would be oblivious, means oblivious from the ibadah. And we know that is very well because we used to be involved in hunting. And the hunting is addictive, something that the people are addicted to. Once they are hooked to it, they are very hard to leave it. And I know that from as well, the people who used to hunt, sometimes they hunt birds and they don't even eat them. They just hunt them for the sake of hunting. And if they don't find people to take them, they'll throw them because they're going to get rot. And that is why the Prophet saw that this man is following a hamama. He said, "Shaytanun yatba'u shaytana." Shaytan min shatana, going away from the haqq. He's following shaytana because she's taking him away from the ibadah. That's what it means. So the aside, the hunting is okay. And the Prophet ﷺ, he encourages us as well to make sure that we, hit the target very well. But aside, just to make sure that an animal dead for the sake of, other than the sake of eating, like for the sake of amusement is not allowed, the sake of skin is not allowed. So to hunt animals for the sake of the skin, for example, tigers and all of that, is not allowed. But for the sake of carrying letters, to use the pigeons is no problem, or as well for the eggs or for the food. Now,
1301, Al-Hasan said,
1301 is unauthentic. So we come to 1302, and I would like to leave that for next week. Right. let me just do that one. The last one. Let me do that one, inshallah. 1302. Oh.
1302.
Yes.
Chapter 629, person who has a need in the person with the greatest right to go out for it.
No.
1302, Zayd bin Thabit said that Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu came to him, Zayd, to see him one day, and Zayd gave him permission to enter while his head was in the hands of a slave girl of his who was combing his hair. He removed his head, and Umar radiallahu anhu said to him, "Let her comb it." Zayd said, "Amir al-Mu'mineen, if you were to send for me, I would come to you." Umar radiallahu anhu said, "It is my need."
Right. The chapter title that if you are in need of someone, so then you are the one who's supposed to go to that person. You're not supposed to let that person to come to you. Okay? So this is the chapter title. And this chapter title gives us an etiquette. The Prophet ﷺ used to teach his companions. And from what he used to teach the companions, that always depend upon yourself. Don't depend upon others. So the Prophet ﷺ, he has his staff there. He would go and collect it rather than to ask someone to get it. So Prophet of Allah ﷺ, he taught us in a number of occasions we could see that you do not depend upon others. For verily, so many people depend upon others. They say, "Id'u lana," make a dua for us. And that's not from the etiquette of the Prophet ﷺ. If you wanted to call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't ask someone to call for you. Let that person on his own to call for you, make dua. But not you to impose upon him, "Id'u lana." You're going, "Id'u lana." That's not an etiquette. So, the Prophet ﷺ, as I said, taught us as well to be giving, the hint or to giving to the others that you are depending upon yourself, and people would love you for that. But if you start depending upon them, and if you start asking them, they'll go away from you. So when we find, for example, the day of Badr, the Prophet ﷺ and the companion has to share each three on one camel. Each three on one camel. The Prophet ﷺ, he was with Abu Lubaba and Ali ibn Abi Talib. Each one has to share. So one mount and two walk. Okay? So when it is the turn now for the Prophet ﷺ to dismount, Ali and Abu Lubaba, both radiallahu anhuma, they would say, "Messenger of Allah, you stay on the camel and we will walk that distance for you. You don't have to dismount. We'll offer you that." Prophet ﷺ said, "You are not more of a need. You are not more of need to the reward than me." Subhanallah. You are not more of need to the reward than me. Prophet of Allah, subhanallah, I mean, he's had his sins be forgiven from the past and the future. He's teaching companions. That's what you should do. So if you izhad bima fi yadi an-nas yuhibbuka an-nas. If you are not in need of what is in the hand's possession, people would love you. But if you keep asking, "Can I have, can I use that, can you give me?" people will go away from you. So, here Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. And he is the leader of the believers. And he is much greater than Zayd ibn Thabit. Zayd ibn Thabit is a great scholar. He's the scholar who has been appointed by Abu Bakr at the time of Uthman to head the committee to collect the Quran. We know for that for a fact. Zayd ibn Thabit is the one of the ascribe, the one who memorized the Quran with the Prophet ﷺ fully at his time. Zayd ibn Thabit is the one who had even revised the Quran with the Prophet of Allah and the last revision before he died. So he's a well-known scholar, but to compare him with Uthman compare him with Umar is much greater than him. So when Umar, he was in need of him, he came to him and he has the right, because he's better, older, and he's the Khalif, he could have called for him. He goes to him in his house. While this person, Zayd ibn Thabit, he has his head in the hands of a slave. She was combing him. So he gave him permission and he said, "I came to you to such and such." So he said to him, Umar, he said, when he said to Zayd ibn Thabit, he said to the girl, "Leave me, let me just attend to Umar." He said, No, let her continue what she's doing. For me, I came to you. He said, "O leader of the believers, you could have just told me, I would have come to you." He said, "No, I am the one who's in need. You are not in need of me. I am the one who's in need." Radiallahu anhu wa ardah. This is as well a lesson to be learned from those companions. And we stop by this. And 1303, unauthentic. 1303, which is the following one, is unauthentic. So we'll leave it inshallah for next week. The following chapter, which is 631, 1304. If you have any questions, please go ahead. And jazakumullahu khair. I would like the brothers to remind them, because our customers, to come forward, my dear brothers. Come forward. Yes. You can see that the students all the time, alhamdulillah, they learn this. The customers we're trying to make to teach them is from the sunnah, to adhere to the sunnah, and from the barakah that we have been taught by the Prophet of Allah and been taught on the hands of the scholars, we don't sit the way that you're sitting. Now, further down. If you had a bad suspicion, you can give an example, for example, so you could really be. Okay. So, for example, you saw a person talking to a woman, for example. Yes, with a woman. Still with a woman. And he was talking to you, and you said to him, brother, I don't know, I had a bad suspicion about you. You know, I've seen you with a woman. Would you clarify? Is that right? Do you think that person would like it for me? So what you should do? Neglect it. Just that's it. It doesn't happen. You should really always think this is maybe his sister, or his mother, or his wife, or anything. Okay? But if it's known to be a fornicator, and you see him with a woman, that's not a bad opinion. This is built upon proof. So you go to the brother, I don't know. And it would be, remember, like to talk to him about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla regarding the women, and to talk to them in their own, no problem, give him a nasiha. Okay, that's no problem because you know for a fact that this person, okay. If you have no idea and you give a nasiha, you could just say to the person, I know, I'm pretty sure that that person belongs to you, maybe it's your relatives and she's your wife or but sometimes when you do like this, hold her hand. Some people, they hold the hands of the wives on the seat. That's not right. That's not right. You see, unless you need to hold her. For example, you're blind, you're ill, you can't walk, but walking hand in hand, what the boy is going to say when he sees you. And that is why we tell the brothers, be careful, your husband and wife. You're allowed to bathe yourself together, but to enter inside the house, inside the toilet, in front of the child, so both together. Because you teach a child, shame on you, don't show your private part. But you are going together. The child, what is he going to think? Even if you're a husband and wife. So the husband and the wife should as well bear in mind these things. Like for example, the wife in Ramadan, if she's on her menses, she's not supposed to break her fast in front of the children. Because they don't understand that she's on her menses. You would say to her, why are you commanding us to fast and you don't fast? And I know that because it had an impact on myself as well. When I saw a woman and a man enter I kept asking my mother, why they enter together? I didn't know. I kept asking and asking until I grew up and that went quiet. But it kept me puzzling. And my mother used to avoid answering me this question. I want to know why they enter together. Shame. Now, for the uncle, yes.
We have talked about suspicion, but suppose somebody asks you what is your opinion of this brother, how careful should you be without mixing opinion based on facts and suspicion?
Well, the best thing, uncle, is to avoid it. The question is, uncle, how can we make a balance between based facts and between suspicion? The end of the story is to make sure that we are giving positive, feed. Yeah. So if it is based facts, you're trying to give, suspicion is the person who will keep that to himself and he will believe it. That's a suspicion, uncle. And then he may be conveyed to somebody else. That's a suspicion. So if, for example, you had somebody who does it all the time, he's a thief, and you see him enter that room, and then later on somebody had seen something, in that room being stolen. Okay? So there is no harm for you to go and ask that person, brother, have you got it? That's not suspicion because you're asking him. Suspicion is to talk to other people about it. That's a suspicion. But to go to confront that person, I'll give you an example of mine. Once we were in the masjid teaching Quran halqa, circle. I don't know if you said this maybe a long time ago. Long. Doing Quran halqa. Yes, you remember that? You're kidding me. Talking about this. So, We were teaching the Quran. This is before we were teaching. It's a long time. I don't know if one of the students remembers this. Please tell us me. I don't really rarely says it. We were teaching Halaqat Quran. Person, he comes with his MP3. At that time, those MP3 recorders, it cost 250, 260 pounds. I remember them very well. I'm talking about now more than 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago. So it cost a lot of money. So the prayer came, led the prayer there behind me. After he left the MP3 on top of the shelf of the masjid. After the prayer, the MP3 vanished, disappeared. And the person, mashallah, down to earth, he doesn't really mention it. So he started looking, and I saw him. He said, what was happening? I said, no, he said nothing. He said, tell me, what was happening? He said, my MP3 is gone. He doesn't want to say it because in the masjid. My MP3 is gone. I said, all right. And he wants to record now. Can I just have this set up? He said, well, why did you start this? So, okay, right. I know of a person. Imam Masjid, he knows this person, and he comes and he's known, he's got a reputation. So I asked, was such and such so-and-so was there in the masjid? He said to me, yes, and he left. I said, okay. So I went to a person who is as well down to earth. He's his friend. I said to him, go to that person and tell him, please bring the MP3. Just like that. Please bring the MP3. Oh. Don't talk about it. He said, how do you know? I said, just go for me. He went there, he did nothing. What he did, he said to him, you know, maybe you have seen the MP3 and maybe. So the way he said it, in a way that you haven't got it, maybe you have seen it, and I didn't say it. And then he came back, and I was still teaching, he said, this is what happened to me. He whispered in my ears and said, brothers, can you stay still because I'm going? And he lives about 2 minutes, 3 minutes drive. I'm in my car, I went there straight away myself, okay, and I got that brother who said, blah, 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 got him inside the car, let's watch. I went to the person, when he came back, I said to him the following. I said, you've got half an hour to bring it. Just like that. Half hour to bring it, and I will not say anything about you. I will not even mention your name. If you don't bring it, I'll make a scandal of you. In 5 minutes he brought it. Because I know the person. Nobody's in the masjid would see such a thing. The masjid people, they come, I know them. So they are counted. They're not like a big masjid like this, 20, 200 people. There's about 20, 25 people. So I had to bring it, he brought it back. And I don't mention the name of the person, never ever mention his name, but this is not suspicion, uncle, based upon facts. He's known, okay? And the way that he did it, he went inside and he left. By the way, he left and he did not pray with us. Okay? He did not pray with us. Okay, uncle? So, then I work with the police, uncle. When you ask the person, you know, have you seen this, have you seen that? You give him an edge, yeah, maybe you're not sure that he has done it. But you say, you've got half an hour to bring it. Because you have seen it. Half an hour to bring it. Okay, he brought it in by, maybe half an hour, maybe I set him to the full, I can't remember, 10 years ago. But he brought it, okay, on the 5 minutes. He followed me walking to the masjid, and he called for me outside, and then when I came, I said, this is yours. I can't remember what I said to him, to give it half an hour, give it the following day, but 100% in 5 minutes or 10 minutes is been done. And that's how you do it. Now, some people as well, some tricks work with them, you know, regarding this issue. So, for example, you know such and such person, he is the thief. Okay? So you want him to confess. You don't want him to make a scandal of him. So you tell the people, okay, this is what I'm going to be talking to each one individually, okay, and then, so I talk to all of them, and then I tell to the thief, I know it's you. But I will make interrogation to everybody, so nobody would know. You just tell me what it is, and then where it is. So he tells me, and then I don't tell everyone. And then I'd say, "Khalas, alhamdulillah, we found it. Nobody knows who's that person." So everybody's interrogated. Okay, this is the way to do it, uncle. And that's why they used to, when I used to have a bookshop, uncle, some brothers, when they lived together, sometimes one person, he might steal something from the wardrobe or something from somebody else. And they come to me. They used to come to me and they ask me, we have a thief amongst us. Do you suspect anybody? This is the doubt. He said, we don't suspect, but well, maybe that person, it's not, you see, Allahu A'lam, but we find that this person is more likely because he's got this. So they told it to me in order to find out, but they're not allowed to say it to anybody. So anyway, I bring all of the people who are in the compound. There are about 13 people at that time. 13 people in my bookshop. Okay. One person knocked, and I locked the shop, but it's a screen you could see from outside. So this person knocked, and I said to him, I'm not open now. But you could see lined up 13 men there. What are you doing there? Okay. After about 5 minutes, I see the police are parking in front of my bookshop. Open. I said, what is this, Sheikh? I said, well, this is what happened. And then, okay, all of you get up in the van. Allahu Musta'an. So they got them in the van, and I had to even follow them. They said to me, okay, will you come with us in the car? And they let them take me in the police car. So what they did, this police, they beaten them up and made one of them to confess. Case closed. What they consider a case closed. But they beaten them up, and they told me later on, we had one of them. I said, confess, it's you, khalas. We finished, it's you, and that's it. And they took this, but it was not the right thing. So after that, I decided not to do it again. But it caused them a pain, a painful day, a painful night it was. Then that person, who's the one is the one who's actually later on, I confronted him. Was it you that you told the police? He said to me, yes. Allah Musta'an. He said, all these people are making dua against you. He's the one who said, the Sheikh is making a coup against his bookshop, because you're not allowed to have lots of people in bookshop like this. Okay, alhamdulillah. Yes, I have last question, please, because we're really too late. Last question, Fadal ya Sheikh. Sorry about that.
Regarding the dua, he said, you don't know the etiquette to make dua. But how about if you phrase it different way? You tell somebody, don't forget me in your dua.
Don't forget me in your dua is something to be said on fitrah, but not to be something that is like we could see it like these days. Ud'u lana, it became the norm that the people, they say with each other. Do you understand me? So if it comes like rarely, like for example al-Darda, when she had her, for example, son-in-law, she came to her, are you making hajj? He said yes, or ud'u lana bi khayr. So if you have meant from that dua to benefit both, the one you commanded him and yourself, because the Prophet said, he who does make dua in his brother's absence, then there will be an angel. He would say to you, and the same. And for you, the same, then it is allowed. But to ask the dua just like you're asking for a ruqyah, that's madhmoom, it's not really light. It's not good. Because you should depend upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, ruqyah is dua, isn't it? The ruqyah is dua. But to ask for the ruqyah is not the right thing. Is to, if that person gave you the ruqyah, gave you the dua by himself, it's better. But in the dua, which is in the sense I want to say, yes. So it's a dua which we call it general, not a specific. The dua, الذين جاءوا من بعدهم يقولوا ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان. It's general dua, not specific. Brother, I am ill, make me dua. That's ruqyah. Okay?
With the name.
Yeah. Today I was listening to Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah. I'm trying to get the benefits of the Sheikh sometimes. That things there that the Sheikh says, subhanallah. One of these stories I was listening yesterday, is like you said, he was doing the Umrah, and the Sheikh said, I was passing the customs there, and the person who is the one in the passport office on the border, he saw him like the Sheikh, and he says to him, Sheikh, don't forget to, pass my salutation to the Prophet Muhammad when you go there. So the Sheikh explained to him. He said to him, it's a long story, he cut it short. He said to him, you could say it here, and he will straight away goes there, faster than I'm going to carry it. I don't know what's going to happen to me on the road. Something that happened to me, I might really not fulfill your requirement, so it's better to say it now. And by the way, there's no difference between you saying it here and between a person who is next to the grave, because the way of communication and conveying the salam is not as you think it is actually, that the Prophet of Allah has to be close to you in order to hear it. It's an angels who carry that salam. Whether they are next to the Prophet or you're further or far away from the Prophet, that angel, those angels carry it to the Prophet ﷺ in a way which we don't understand. So the people think because you're close to him, he could be able to hear you. No, this is a hearing, different hearing. So anyway, نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينفعنا بما قد سمعنا. جزاكم الله خيرا وأحسن الله إليكم.